Hello and welcome back to the Flying Cow Podcast, the official podcast of the Village of Wellington. I'm your host, Jim Barnes, Wellington's Village Manager. Thanks for joining us for Episode 13, featuring a familiar face in our community who keeps residents safe and alert this summer. We'd like to welcome Battalion 2 District Chief of Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, Amanda Vomero. Chief Vomero is here to talk to us about something incredibly important for us and really for anybody living in South Florida this summer. It's storm season safety, lightning awareness, and summer heat dangers.
Well, hi, Mr. Barnes, and thank you for having me. And this is a great time to have this conversation because we're entering peak season of afternoon storms, extreme heat, and outdoor activity.
Well, before we jump into some things, Chief, tell us a little bit about yourself, how you got into the position you're in today, and your connection to the village.
I've been with Palm Beach County Fire Rescue for 25 years, and I climbed the ranks starting as an EMT firefighter, and I climbed the ranks all the way to District Chief. And 3 years ago, I was appointed to take command over District 2, and my call sign is actually District 28, District Chief 28, and I serve the Village of Wellington. And on a personal note, as you know, my husband and I chose Wellington over 20 years ago to be our home and to raise our family and our 3 kids. And recently, I was just appointed to be a part of the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. So I'm fully connected to Wellington.
That's great, because I do really think that there's something valuable about not only serving the community, but also living in the community in which you serve. I similarly live in Wellington and find that there's really an extra connection that you get by also being a resident. And we definitely love having you around here in the village professionally, and great that you're also getting engaged as a resident, as a member of our Parks and Recreation Advisory Board. And we're really excited that we have you here today on the podcast. So as we're getting toward the end of May, and people are definitely noticing these afternoon thunderstorms starting to roll in, is this the beginning of what we consider storm season in Florida?
Absolutely. As we move into late spring and summer, afternoon storms become much more common across Florida. The warm temperatures, humidity, and other weather patterns create the perfect environment for fast-developing thunderstorms. What catches many people off guard is how quickly these storms can build. 1 minute it's sunny, and 15 minutes later it's lightning, heavy rain, and dangerous winds.
And Florida, and particularly the western communities here in Wellington, we have a reputation when it comes to lightning, right?
It certainly does. Florida consistently ranks as one of the lightning capitals of the United States. We see some of the highest lightning activity anywhere in the country. That's especially important in communities like Wellington, where so many residents spend time outdoors at parks, athletic fields, golf courses, and of course equestrian venues. And there's quite a bit of open land for lightning to strike as well.
And that open land can be dangerous for animals and people. Why don't we talk a little bit about the lightning safety, because a lot of people really underestimate how dangerous lightning really is.
Yes, that's true. Lightning is incredibly dangerous and completely unpredictable. Even if a storm seems far away, lightning can strike miles ahead of the storm. One of the simplest rules we tell people is this: if you can hear thunder, you are close enough to be struck by lightning.
That's an important point, particularly having raised kids here in the village and been participating in recreational programs. Sometimes you really have to emphasize to the parents that are out there to get those kids and get all the people really indoors when you see lightning and start hearing thunder. We're fortunate to have those lightning prediction systems at all our parks, but sometimes it really takes an extra step to get those parents to really recognize the risk that's out there. And that is a powerful reminder. What should people do the moment they hear thunder? And I know a lot of residents spend time around the athletic fields and the equestrian areas, a lot of open land there. Are there any specific dangers there?
Yes, there are. But at the very first sound of thunder, people should seek shelter indoors immediately. A substantial building is the safest option, and if that's not available, a hard-topped vehicle is your next best choice. People should avoid open spaces like sports fields, the riding arenas, and playgrounds during storms. Lightning is attracted to tall, isolated objects and and conductive materials. We advise people to stay away from fencing, metal bleachers, light poles, trees that are standing alone, and open riding areas. At equestrian facilities, especially, storms can become dangerous very quickly. Riders and spectators need to have a plan to move indoors fast.
And now with the lightning, while that's really dangerous, lightning can create dangerous fires as well, right?
Yes, absolutely, especially during lightning strikes or dry season or the rainy season with increased lightning, there is an increased chance of brush fires that can cause from lightning strikes.
And that's important to note. So one thing you mentioned earlier is how quickly storms develop here in Florida and again here in the western communities. What does really, when we say, hey, you need to be weather aware, what does that really mean for the families out here?
Well, being weather aware means paying attention before you head outside. Check forecasts, monitor weather apps, and keep an eye on the sky. If you're coaching sports, attending outdoor events, or spending the day at the park, know where you'll go if a storm develops. Having a plan ahead of time can prevent panic and save lives.
And that's really important. As I mentioned earlier, with a lot of parents and kids at our parks and athletic programs, that's especially important with outdoor sports this time of year.
Absolutely. Coaches, parents, event organizers, they all play a role. If thunder is heard, activities should stop immediately. Safety always comes first.
So, with the storms and the associated lightning that comes with those storms, that's a major concern, certainly this time of year. Another serious issue that we've started to slowly see over the last couple of weeks here is Florida heat. And temperatures are already climbing. What do you see from, a fire rescue standpoint during the summer months?
Every year, we respond to heat-related emergencies, ranging from dehydration to heat exhaustion and even heat stroke. People often underestimate how dangerous prolonged heat exposure can be, especially in the Florida where humidity makes it harder for the body to cool itself.
In general, from your experience, who's most at risk when it comes to a heat illness?
Several groups are especially vulnerable: children, older adults, outdoor workers, athletes, and even pets. But honestly, anyone can suffer from heat illness if they're outside too long without hydration and without breaks.
So, every time, particularly as summer starts to get here, we hear the terms in the news and elsewhere about being careful about heat exhaustion and heat stroke. And sometimes people use those terms interchangeably. What's the difference, really?
That's an important distinction. Heat exhaustion is serious, but heat stroke is a medical emergency. With heat exhaustion, the symptoms can include heavy sweating, dizziness, weakness, nausea, headaches, muscle cramps, cool or clammy skin. And if someone is experiencing those symptoms, they need to move into the shade or the air condition immediately, drink water, and cool down.
What about heat stroke?
Heat stroke is a much more severe, much more serious, can become life-threatening very quickly. The warning signs of a heat stroke is confusion, altered behavior, loss of consciousness, very high body temperature, hot, dry skin, or sometimes excessive sweating, and rapid pulse. If heat stroke is suspected, call 911 immediately. While waiting for emergency responders to arrive, they should try to cool the person down with cold towels, fans, or ice packs.
And I think we all know the answer. Water's really important all times of the year. Hydration's important. But right now in these summer months, it's more important than ever.
Absolutely. The biggest thing is hydration. Don't wait until you feel thirsty to drink water. We also recommend wearing lightweight, light-colored clothing, taking frequent breaks in the shade, avoiding strenuous outdoor activity during peak afternoon heat, using sunscreen, never leaving children or pets in the vehicles. Even with the windows cracked, temperatures inside a vehicle can become deadly within minutes.
This is such an important reminder, really, every single summer, really throughout the year, but especially in the summer. And we keep hearing, we'll see on the news horror stories about that.
It really is. And unfortunately, we do continue to see tragic situations every year that are completely preventable.
As we begin to wrap up here, in your position as district chief, battalion chief, with Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, and in all your experience, the 25 years that you've served with the fire service, what's your most, I think, important advice and takeaway that residents can have as we head into storm season, as we head into the summer, and what can you share with our listeners?
The best advice I can give is for them to be prepared. Preparation can save lives. Whether it's lightning, severe weather, extreme heat, a little planning goes a long way. Pay attention to weather conditions, stay hydrated, know the warning signs of heat illness, and never ignore thunder. Palm Beach County Fire Rescue is proud to serve the village of Wellington, and we want everyone to enjoy their summer safely.
Well, I think that for sure is everybody's wish that we all have a safe and enjoyable summer. And admittedly, I think we are fortunate to have the Palm Beach County Fire Rescue as our service provider here in the village of Wellington. And we are extremely fortunate to have you leading that here for us in the village of Wellington, not only as a representative of Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, but also as a resident. And we want to thank you for joining us today and also sharing all this important information that we've discussed.
Well, it's been my pleasure, Mr. Barnes. Thank you for having me, and I'd like everyone out there to stay safe and stay hydrated.
Thanks so much. Again, check out our monthly newsletter. Be sure to subscribe, as every month Chief Romero puts out crucial safety information in her Chief's Corner segment. And follow Palm Beach County Fire Rescue on Facebook and X pages for constant updates throughout the village and Palm Beach County. Remember, if you hear thunder, head indoors, stay weather aware, and take the Florida heat seriously. Also, be sure to follow the Village of Wellington on social media. As always, be sure to subscribe and turn on alerts so you never miss an episode of our podcast. Until next time, I'm Jim Barnes. Thanks for tuning in to the Flying Cow Podcast, where community takes flight.